Hey, Professor Hart. I had note cards like this at home because I'm home for the holidays, and so I just cut out cardstock the size of a regular index card, and instead of doing back and front, because I got confused last time, I'm just using the front of 3 of them and marking X's on the back because we technically have 4 back and fronts, but I'm only going to use 3. So here's my note cards. Okay. Here I have 4 eggs. They are fragile and delicate. They have endless opportunities and applications. I see so much potential in these eggs, but it all depends on the measures that the producer took to ensure its delivery to the consumer. The first egg is completely ordinary. Think about the hard, fragile shell. It represents being sheltered or being unaware of the importance of mental health. And when this person finally stops being sheltered and goes into the real world, they aren't prepared to handle it. Now let's get one step closer to the goal. Say this next egg, a hard-boiled egg, represents not being sheltered. When this person goes into the real world, they are a little more prepared, but they still get hurt and damaged, as you can see. That leaves our last 2 eggs. One is exactly like the first and the other is exactly like the second. But we are going to change one thing. This pillow represents being aware. Someone who was given the tools and built the mental health skills necessary to succeed and cope in life. So whether or not a person was sheltered by their parents or family, the school can provide awareness and exposure to these vital skills. Now, if we were in a classroom setting, I'd ask you by a show of hands how many could say that they've never struggled emotionally when trying to meet expectations. After that, I'd go one step further and say, how many of you have never broken down while trying to complete something? Finally, how many of you have never felt anxiety, depression, or any other type of mental health struggle? My guess is no one would have their hand raised. And if you did have your hand raised, or if you didn't have your hand raised, I can relate to you, and so can many of your peers and friends. According to the National Alliance on Mental Illness, 50% of all lifetime illness begins at the age of 14, and 75% by the age of 24. Due to this, suicide is the second leading cause among death in the people of the age range of 10 to 34. This is why I believe schools should teach at least a basic program of mental health skills to children before they reach that vital age of 14. Now, some of you might say our generation is the most educated and aware of mental health issues and concerns, but I ask you to ponder on whether or not that's good enough for you. I'm sorry, my dog's choking. Are you okay, Sophie? Did you know that 1 in 4 people experience a mental health illness every year? It's 1 in 4, according to Johns Hopkins Medical Center. That's 1 person in a family of 4. Your mom, dad, sibling, and you. One of them could be it. It is estimated that 26% of our society as a whole. Isn't that ridiculous? 26% of our population is experiencing mental health issues, and we aren't doing enough. 9.5% of those people will experience depression. 18% of those people will experience an anxiety disorder, as I do myself. People are dying every day because we simply aren't doing enough. Most people who commit suicide have a diagnosable mental disorder. Suicide is the leading cause of injury-related deaths in the US. That's pathetic. The worst thing about the facts in this is that it isn't even shocking to me. It feels correct, which is worse. Now that I've thoroughly explained the problem, here's what I propose we do about it. I know that no one can guarantee how parents choose to raise their children, but the schools can choose what they teach. This is why I propose schools teach a basic mental health course before the vital age of 14. This way, no matter their home life, each child is equipped and prepared with the necessary mental health skills to cope and be successful. You might be thinking that this is unobtainable because schools are already underfunded, but there is a simple solution lying right in front of you. I took a poll for myself just to see if these statistics could be reflected in a real-life situation. I asked a few simple, basic questions to lead up to my ultimate goal. Are school systems educating students on mental health well enough by utilizing health classes? As you can see, more than half of the people who took a required health class consider it as useless. That means that more than 50% of these people's time and health was 100% wasted. All except one person agreed that health classes could have been used to teach mental health skills like coping. My final question was, have you or your friends experienced or struggled with anxiety, depression, or another mental health issue? All except one. Here is what you can do to contribute. As you can see, I provided a link to the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Any donation can support their growing initiatives to improve the lives of people affected by mental health conditions and meet the rising demand for NAMI's support and services, standards, and curriculum. You can email them here or fill out a simple contact form. Many children, adolescents, adults, and senior citizens suffer due to mental illness every day because they were simply not equipped at an early age by the school system. Together, let's prevent history from repeating itself. Let's put an end to the cycle.